August 2008. In a secluded estate in Puerto Rico, a man is pacing the floor. This man is an industry. He is a GDP. He has sold 60 million albums. He has shaken his hips for the Bush administration and the Queen of England. He is the definition of sex symbol. But in this room, there are no fans. There are no cameras, just two cribs. And inside them, two boys, Mateo and Valentino. The world was confused. The headlines didn't say Ricky Martin gets married. They said Ricky Martin becomes a father, alone. Here is the paradox. We are told that family requires arithmetic. 1 + 1 = family. Mother plus father equals stability. But Ricky Martin, sitting on a fortune of over $100 million, looked at that math and decided it was wrong. He didn't wait for a partner to complete him. He didn't wait to come out of the closet. He chose single parenthood first. This isn't a story about a pop star. This is a story about agency. It's about the psychological concept of self-determination theory. It's about why waiting for the perfect conditions to start your life is the most expensive mistake you can make. Ricky Martin broke the rules of the nuclear family, but in doing so, he teaches us a brutal lesson about the cost of living for everyone else but yourself. To understand his choice, you have to understand the cage he was in. The year is 1999. Livin La Vida Loca isn't just a song, it's a cultural weapon. It hits #1 in over 20 countries. Ricky Martin is the most desired man on the planet, but commercially, he is a product designed to sell heterosexual fantasy to women. In economics, we call this market positioning. His entire net worth was tied to his availability to women. To be gay, or even to be a father without a mother, wasn't just a personal risk, it was a breach of contract with the public. In his 2010 memoir, simply titled Me, Ricky wrote about this period. He said, "I was the king of the world, but I was a slave to my own silence." The flaw wasn't his sexuality. The flaw was external validation dependence. He believed his right to happiness, specifically his right to be a father, was contingent on public permission. He wanted a family, but his advisors told him it would ruin his career. Therefore, he bought dogs, he bought houses, he bought distractions. He was suffering from what psychologists call the deferral syndrome, the belief that you will start your real life once you have solved a specific problem. I will have kids when I find a wife. I will have kids when the world accepts me. But biology doesn't care about your PR strategy. The clock was ticking, and the emptiness was compounding. He was wealthy, successful, and adored, but he was logically starved. He needed to be a father, and he was about to realize that the only person stopping him was him. 2008, the shift. Ricky makes a decision that terrifies his management. He stops looking for a partner. He stops waiting for the one. He turns to science, specifically gestational surrogacy. This is the ascent. This is where he takes control. But notice the method. He didn't adopt yet. He didn't marry a woman to hide. He chose a path that required immense intentionality. Let's pause. Single parenthood by choice, especially for men, is statistically rare. According to the Pew Research Center, single fathers head only 17% of single-parent households. In 2008, a famous single closeted man using a surrogate, it was unheard of. He described the process in a Vanity Fair interview. "I didn't just want to be a father, I needed to be a father to survive." When Matteo and Valentino were born in August 2008, Ricky Martin entered a state of euphoria. The ascent. He took a hiatus. He disappeared into that estate in Puerto Rico. For the first time, the validation didn't come from a stadium of 50,000 screaming fans. It came from a 7-pound human looking him in the eye. This brings us to the core principle. The validity of the family unit is defined by love, not structure. He was changing diapers. He was feeding them every 3 hours. He was doing it without a nanny army. He wanted the grime. He wanted the sleeplessness. But there was a crack in the foundation. He was a single dad. He was happy, but he was still lying to the world about who he was. He thought he could compartmentalize. He thought he could be dad inside the house and Latin heartthrob outside. He was wrong. You cannot raise children to be honest while you are living a lie. The existence of the twins didn't solve the problem of the closet. It pressurized it. The red flags started showing up. In interviews, reporters would ask, "Who is the mother? Are you looking for a wife for them?" Every question was a dagger. Every answer he gave was a betrayal of his own reality. The crash wasn't financial. It was existential. Imagine looking at your 2-year-old son. You were teaching him to be brave. You were teaching him to tell the truth. And then you walk out the door and lie to CNN. This is where we break down the psychology. This is called cognitive dissonance. It is the mental discomfort experienced by a person who holds 2 or more contradictory beliefs. Value A: I must be a role model for my sons. Value B: I must lie about my identity to protect my career. These 2 realities cannot coexist. One has to die. In 2010, Ricky sat down to write his memoir. He couldn't do it. He realized he couldn't write a book about his life while omitting the biggest part of it. He looked at his sons, and in a moment of clarity that usually only happens in movies, he realized they didn't need a mother. They didn't need a traditional structure. They needed a father who wasn't a liar. This confirms the parental investment theory in a unique way. Usually, this theory discusses biological resource allocation, but here, the investment was social capital. Ricky Martin had to liquidate his social capital to purchase his children's integrity. March 29th, 2010. He sits at his computer. Twitter. He types a letter. He doesn't call a press conference. He doesn't sell the story to a tabloid. He controls the narrative. I am proud to say that I am a fortunate homosexual man. I am very blessed to be who I am. He hit send, and he waited for the world to end. He expected his career to crash. He expected CD burnings, but he hit send. Therefore, he was free. The crash didn't happen to him. It happened to the lie. The Latin lover persona died that day, so the father could live. Fast forward to today, Ricky Martin is still selling out stadiums. He is acting in Emmy-winning shows, but more importantly, his family grew. By choosing single parenthood first, he proved a thesis. Joy is not a committee decision. He didn't need a partner to start a family. He started the family, and that family attracted the right partners later. He built the house, then invited people in. He didn't wait for someone else to bring the bricks. So, look at your own life. You might not be a global pop star. You might not be looking to raise twins alone, but you are waiting for something. You are waiting for the perfect time to start the business. You are waiting for a co-founder to build the app. You are waiting for permission to be happy. Ricky's story teaches us that waiting is a trap. The traditional path, school, marriage, kids, happiness, is just a suggestion. It is not a law of physics. If you want the child, have the child. If you want the life, build the life. If you wait for the world to give you permission, you will die waiting. Single parenthood isn't a plan B. For Ricky and for millions of others, it was the only plan that mattered. The math is simple. One whole person is infinitely better than two broken ones.